Welcome to the latest episode of 4x4 Uncut, the podcast that digs into everything 4x4, from racing to rebuilds, driving to winching, buying and selling, parts and fabrication. I'm Freddie, the owner of FDR 4x4, Land Rover parts specialist.
I'm Alex, owner of Denells Off-Road. We manufacture steering and suspension links alongside all the other products for 4x4s.
And together, we are 4x4 Uncut. Guys, welcome back to our fourth podcast. We're getting there, we're counting them down. And it's quite an exciting one for us this time because we've got our first ever guest. Thanks for coming on, JJ. How are you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm well. Thanks very much. Thanks for having me. I'm honoured to be the first guest of the
first
Uncut
history
podcast.
history in the making.
Yeah, that's it. I'll have to remember to put that on my autograph cards.
Autograph cards, CV, yeah.
I've already got it on mine, so
photo opportunities.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I'm available for evening speaking and after dinner speeches, etc.
Yeah, nice. Signing of body parts, all that at the shows, I'm sure.
Oof, no, you're all right. You can do that one, Fred.
So yeah, basically, mate. Let's start with yourself. Really, have you had a good week so far?
It's been a challenging week. With various things that to do with human resources and trucks being crashed, and I'm a transport manager by trade, so I deal with haulage.
I was going to ask what you did. Answered it there.
Yeah. So I work for a company called JBS Haulage Contractors, based in Sittingbourne in Kent, and we're a general haulage contractor. I run a fleet of 60 lorries, a few more trailers. Obviously, I'm not the only person that runs it. I'm part of a bigger management team, and my day job, although as on paper I'm a transport manager, this is the boring bit, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get this out of the way. I'm actually the driver trainer. And I look after all the compliance. So I look after all the paperwork and stuff that you have to have just in case you get in trouble, and incident reports and disciplinaries and dismissals and interviews and all that boring stuff. And this week, actually, I haven't got any wood to touch, but hasn't been too bad.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I bet the fuel's no fun though.
Oh, so we obviously run fuel cards. So what you see at the pump isn't quite what we pay, but we are paying this week on our cheapest card round about 30p a litre less than you'll see on a pump. Right. But the rise is the same. It's unbelievable. And bulk fuel has gone more expensive than pump fuel, so we're not even got bulk on. We're just using cards now, solely on cards, which is for cash flow an absolute ball ache.
Yeah, and it's gonna happen already. Surely it's gonna knock down the line, isn't it? Everyone's gonna end up having to pay for it because you just can't keep swallowing it. I mean,
so we're quite lucky really with we've got two large clients that we work for. Ironically, one owns the other as well, which is quite handy. So, for example, there's a company called Wienerberger, who are a German building supply company. They own a company called Flowplast, we've been with them for 30 years. And they pay a fuel surcharge that's in line with the rate, like a monthly rate. So sometimes you're all right because at the beginning of the month it's high and it reduces, and sometimes it goes the other way around. But a lot of the customers have seen it coming. So from that perspective, it's absorbed some of the impact. But of course, the knock-on effect is every time you go to Tesco's or every time you go and buy anything, the cost is there anyway. So it's just a vicious circle, isn't it, chaps? It's just
without a doubt, yeah.
You know about it at the moment. Yeah. We're importing a machine from Spain to America.
Do you want someone to collect it?
Well, so it's already on the boat. Is the problem we're having? It's trying to go into America, and Trump's not very happy with the Spanish at the moment. So
no,
we're not feeling very confident about a very expensive machine making it through customs without delays or tariffs. So, not to go into a politics thing, but it's we know.
I was going to say,
I'm definitely not the best person to talk about politics.
We know the pain. It's it's brutal at the moment.
Anyway. Without we'll try and stay on topic, shall we? We'll try and stay on topic. So, so JJ, like, obviously, we go back got to be 20 years, isn't it? I'd have thought.
Longer than Alex
Longer
has
than
been
that.
born by the sounds
Longer
of
than
things.
Alex has been born, yeah.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
just
Talking
mentioning
before.
that.
I think the first time I dealt with you, Freddie, you were working for a company called TBR
Yes.
somewhere in Essex land. For Chris.
Yeah,
Chris
yeah.
something or other.
Chris Hill.
And I worked at Frogs Island 4x4, of course.
Yeah.
Similar ages, and obviously I listened to the podcast where you told your story, and it's amazing that actually our stories sort of tailor the same way but start off completely differently.
Okay.
And end completely differently.
Yeah, okay. So let's go back to where it started then, I suppose. Is that all right with you, Alex? Should we just
Yeah. I'm more
let's
interested
hear-
than anything because we haven't spoken about this already, so I'm just sat here taking it all in.
Okay, so my first off-roading expedition was at the age of 7 months old.
Okay.
When my dad he had a Suzuki SJ410.
Yeah.
And he joined the all-drive club.
Okay.
And they did trials. Back then it was trials or expert trials with all the fiddle brakes and all that sort of stuff. And then he grew up and he bought a Range Rover. And my first memory of being off-road was at a place called Slab Common, which I'm sure you've been to, Freddie, down Borden.
Yeah.
And I had a little postman Pat pedal car that I used to go everywhere in. And a guy called Dave Geach in what was called a Haflinger. Have you ever heard of a Haflinger? Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah. He towed me through the site because no one else wanted to pull me through it. A Haflinger is a German army. You probably compare it to like a Polaris these days.
Yeah,
it's
like
that
a
sort of
baby.
size.
Okay.
Or like a Pinsgauer shrunk, would you say?
Yeah,
That
it's
kind of.
You've got to Google it, Alex.
Yeah.
And anyone else
I've
who's listening.
no idea.
So
They're worth quite a lot of money now, aren't they?
Well, everything that's everything from those days is these
worth
days.
A lot of money, yeah.
Quite
rare though, aren't they?
Putch Haflinger, I think they're called.
That's it.
And he used to run it in the open trials, and it was quite insane. And so the first part of my off-roading was tagging along with the family and going to all-drive safaris and trials. And Dad bought the Range Rover and carried on, and then he bought a 110 and carried on, and then he bought a 1985 C-Reg V8 factory hardtop 90.
Cool.
From ironically the local Seat dealer.
Right.
And I think I was 8 when he bought that. At that point, he moved from the all-drive club to the local Land Rover club, which was Hanson Barks Rover Owners, which is part of the Association of Land Rover Clubs. And it was his everyday car. It was a 3.5 on carbs with a LT85.
Yeah.
Drum brakes on the rear, 4-pin diffs, and the height of modifications then was a set of Ranger Rostyle wheels and a set of Michelin XCLs. And if you were really the daddy, you had a military style bumper with the pin hitch in the middle of it.
In the middle, yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had one of them, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was towed the caravan, towed everything, that did everything. Later on in life became the car I learnt to drive in, believe it or not, at which point it was a 3.9 with a 4-speed auto.
Yeah.
But
you haven't got that still.
Well, I know where it is. It's in Newbury. It's in Newbury. It was offered to me about 3 months ago, needing a chassis and a bulkhead for $8,000. So I decided it could stay where it was for now.
Stay where it is, yeah.
It's a lot of money.
I could help you with a chassis and a bulkhead.
I'm sure you could. Yeah, I know a few people. My biggest problem is time, money.
While we're getting the sales in.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'd already decided what I'd do to it if I had it back. I'd want a set of those super strong axles that Maya do as well.
No,
and
that was money, really crazy.
They are, but they look the fun. They've even been used in Australia, aren't they?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh no, sorry, not the tube, but actual for, like you say, for something $8,000 for something like that is a lot in it, really.
Well, you get what you pay for a lot of the time, don't you? I'm dreaming completely, chaps. Let's face it. Yeah, and then my 17th birthday, we were trialing again down near Portsmouth, and I had my provisional license, and we got up in the morning, got out the tent. My dad said, "Right, you're driving." We went green laning for 2 days.
Oh, okay, cool.
Out literally, woke up on my 17th birthday. Here's the keys. Off we go.
Brilliant.
And that's how I got started. Really, it was all dad.
Yeah.
Sadly, I lost him a few years ago, but and he'd have loved this. He'd have been all over this.
Yeah.
So which is why I'm so happy you guys are doing something. So I think it's fantastic. Sorry if I well up now. I tend to
No, it's
not at all,
nice.
mate.
It's nice to get into
Yeah.
it. Like you say, it's just.
And do you
Bringing
think
it back a
it's still the same as it was when you started in the sense of the trialing side? Is it still a family?
Nothing's ever quite the same, is it?
No, probably not.
So moving on from obviously 17, I'm now, as we discussed a little while, slightly older than that. In fact, a lifetime later, in Alex's terms, I'm now the chairman of the Southern Rover Owners Club, and we're obviously based in Kent and the southeast. And long story short, no, it hasn't changed a lot. It's 12-gate trials, red on the left, white on the right. Obviously, the vehicles have changed. It used to be when I was growing up, it was all series vehicles, lightweights. When people had a 90 or whatever, they were there to win. Nowadays, you're getting into your Discovery 2s and even the Range Rover Sports and things like that. And if you're there in a 90, you're a lunatic because it's worth so much money
to smash up.
Yeah. That's for the road tax trial, and then obviously you get the cross country vehicle trials, which are called CCV, which, for your reference, Alex, would be a little bit like yours and Jess's cars, but 80-inch wheelbase, big engine, small car, and all about turning circle, really. And there are cars going round now. For example, one of the first events I went to after I passed my driving test was the ALRC National in the year 2000 at Borden. And a guy won the trial called Ron Baker. His car is still being used today, 26 years later, and it's still doing as well today as it did then.
Yeah.
So although there have been advances in using Discovery 2 axles and P38 radius arms and super strong steering bars from Donnell's Off-Road and very nice galvanised chassis from Mayer and all the terra firma bits and pieces, wheels, tyres, come and go. It's the same. It's very similar, very family focused, and I love it. Absolutely love it.
So I was going to ask, I don't know much about the trialing side. You say is there 2 categories, or how does it work? Is there?
There's actually 3.
Narrow? Okay, what's the third one?
Okay, so starting from, let's say, the easiest to the hardest, you've got tyro trialing, which is for showroom spec vehicles. So a bog standard, your Range Rover Sport, you could do a tyro trial in that and have no worries about damaging it, scratching it.
Really?
Just learn what it can do. Equally, you only have to be 13 years old to drive in a tyro trial. So, for example, Jack, my eldest, is 13 years old at the beginning of August. Guess what I'm doing? Handing him the keys to my car at the end of August. Yeah, so he'll drive that. I mean, he's driven it already, but don't tell anybody. So that's tyro trialing, and it's fairly tame, let's say, but it's good because it allows everyone to compete.
Get started.
To get started. If we've got a guy in the club who's got a 1950, I say 54, 80-inch Series 1 2-litre. It's a lovely. It obviously he's got a few little bits and pieces. It's lovely, and he tyro trials it. He's trialled it for 30 years, and he just comes along and trials it, and he loves it. I did suggest to Bev that we trial the Disco Sport, and she told me where to go. But obviously, we have got another vehicle we can use, so I can't really say much about that. And then you get RTV, which is road tax vehicle, which is slightly more knobbly tyres, slightly more underbody protection, all the way up to fully built 90 truck cabs with roll cages, or whatever it is you fancy. Discovery 2s, Discovery 1s, Discovery 3s, anything. And then, so you drive it to the event, you drive it home from the event, so it has to have an MOT. Although, believe it or not, you're not allowed to check that it's got an MOT, but they have to sign to say it's got an MOT.
Right.
And that's probably the most inclusive and then you get the cross-country trials, so CCV we call it.
Yep.
And that's within the ALRC that has a fairly concise rule book.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, that's with the ALRC. You've got All Drive Club, you've got Northern Off-Road Club, you've got various other organisations that Southern Counties Off-Road that aren't in any way restricted other than by safety from the MUK. So you'll see your Jimneys, you'll see your Land Cruisers, you'll see your Patrols, you'll see specials that don't resemble anything with front and rear steer and single seat Unimog axles, a bit like the Euro trial
Really?
stuff.
Is that still going, the Euro trials? I used to know a few people who did that. Is that still happening? Do you know?
I think so. I don't tend to follow it that much. I know All Drive Club do open trials, and they call them 5-gate trials.
Right.
And I've never quite understood what that's all about, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would think so, Fred. Yeah, I mean, over on the continent, they love a little bit of mud, don't they?
Yeah. But it's still quite. Is it probably the best entry way to get into like a bit of off-road motorsport now? Would you say?
I think so. I think so. I don't think anybody would really be able to, as long as you can find a club.
Mm-hmm.
It's fairly cheap. You can use your road car.
Yeah.
MUK license is free. £30 a year club membership. A trial's £40.
Right. So yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
So I was going to ask, the MUK, is that MS UK? Or is
Yeah,
that
they shortened it because people were having problem with the fourth letter.
I just, when you were saying it, I was like, is that the one I'm thinking about, or is that a new one?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Okay.
no. So yeah, we just call it MUK. That's what they are now.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise referred to as Motorsport 80 because of their online system. But so, and obviously the MUK or Motorsport UK, whatever you want to call it, they run events from sporting car trials to off-road trials to motorbike trials to truck racing, British touring cars, all of that sort of stuff is all MUK.
Yeah.
And what about sites then, mate? Are they still? Is that getting harder with like in every sort of discipline of it, or is it still?
It's tricky.
Right. Okay.
I'll be honest with you. This is where you sort of get my little bugbear going a little bit. The club that I'm a member of and I'm the chairman of now, we have a number of sites that we can use, but a lot of them are dictated by the farming industry and agriculture. So certain sites you can go to at certain times of the year. If you're lucky enough to get a quarry, a bit like Buer's Pit or Snugs or something like that isn't used and you can do what you want, then that's great. But those sites always have the risk of being reharvested. So like, for example, there's a couple of sites in Essex that the Essex Club used. There's one near Chelmsford. I'd imagine you've been there, Fred, because I've been there a few times.
Yeah. Was it Essex Off-Road for a while? They called
That's it. Yeah. Still sat there. Hasn't changed, but they built houses opposite it, so they won't let you in.
No one wants it, yeah.
And it's a real shame. And the thing that gets me, and I don't want to mention names or anything like that because that's unprofessional, but you see on the internet all the time people disrespecting green lanes, disrespecting farmland, disrespecting our sport, our industry, whatever you want to call it, going out, building these ridiculous looking cars that they don't care about, and all they want to do is get them muddy. We're trying to do it the right way, aren't we? We're insured, we're doing organised events, we're trying to do it professionally, and it's the other people that ruin it. Because our landowners are going, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Off-roaders
and they're not earning a lot of money off of it. Say again.
An off-roader's an off-roader. I've heard that a million times. Like when we were racing, they just stuck us in the same category as, like you say, green laners with massive tyres on, just tearing the lanes up for no reason. They weren't differentiating between.
I'd say trialing is probably very undestructive as well, really, isn't it? In comparison to.
Oh yeah,
it's quite disciplined, isn't it? It's quite in the sense of, I don't know, compare it to racing or a winch challenge where you smash through you're sort of on a path, aren't you, that you've got to stick to.
Yeah,
between the gates, sort of thing.
Yeah, so you'll have 12 gates that you've got to go from 12 down to 1 with the idea of clearing the section without stopping the vehicle. It's not against the clock. You just got to get through the section without stopping or hitting a gate. So there's a lot of skill involved in it, and I do think that helps with the other aspect. The Comp Safari, the Ultra 4, the Winch Challenge. Because you learn about momentum, vehicle placement, how to read the terrain, things like that. And you're right.
You can always tell a trials driver, can't you? I always think
they're looking so far ahead.
Yeah, or you can tell who's done trialing, shall we say? You can tell who as in they've gone into another sport or discipline of the sport, but you can always see if they've trialed. I always think.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah, you're right. But the difference in terms of, like Alex was saying, green laners to the Ultra 4, it's night and day. Can't even compare them, really.
No.
But yeah, I love the trialing, and the great thing is, like I say, Jack's going to start trialing towards the end of the year. People are so friendly. It's a lot more slower pace. There's a bit more of a social feel to it. If someone rolls over or someone, obviously in the more extreme sort of trials, everyone has a laugh, takes the mick, puts them back on their wheels, pushes them off the section. Next one, carry on.
Yeah.
Bit of recovery here and then, which obviously gets my heckles up a little bit. It's great. I could recommend it to anyone. I really would. It's a great way of getting out in the fresh air, meeting some great people, just having a laugh, and for actually a very small outlay.
Yeah. And how often are trials then? What, like once a month or something, or more, or does it just depend?
Our last trial for Southern Rover owners was November.
Okay.
Our December event, where it's so wet, got rained off, and the landowner and I had a conversation, and he was very nervous. He's a sheep farmer, and obviously needs a grazing. So we said, well, look, I don't, for the sake of a couple £100 of land fees, I don't want to ruin your chances of having a successful year with the sheep. So we cancelled it, and that's part of the respect thing we were talking about. And we've had a real problem with winter land recently. Our first event, ironically, is Saturday.
Right. Okay.
Oh, really?
So our Easter rally. So we haven't had any, but we tend to try and have one a month. Other clubs have had events. Wadden has had a couple of events up out there. Stainby's had a couple of events up there. Some other clubs have been out in West Country and Wales and up in the north of England where they get their meal times wrong. So yeah, there's events everywhere.
And do other clubs go to other club? Does that happen, or is that not really a thing, or can you if you wanted to? Or
well, the first thing is it's not overly expensive to be a member of multiple clubs.
Right. Okay.
So for example, someone that Alex will know, Mick Chick.
Yep.
He went to an event that was run by a company called Chiltern Vale in Chipping Norton, who you should recognise where Chipping Norton is.
Yeah.
Daily Scott.
And competed. That's it.
Jezza.
Oh, Jezza. It wasn't on his farm though, unfortunately.
No.
That's another conversation for later on.
Oh, yeah.
But Mick competed as a Southern Rover Owners member at a Chiltern Vale event.
Right. Okay.
So because he's part of the ALRC, you can do that.
Yeah.
And if you're willing to travel, there are events on. And that's another great thing is that, Mick's the sort of person you should probably get on here at some point because he's done a fair bit and he's a bit, although he's young like you, Alex, he has been about a bit and he's obviously done a lot of safari as well. And
yeah.
From a driver's perspective and an engineering perspective, he's incredibly clued up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the great thing. If you want to do something, just look on the website. You find something to do.
Yeah, good. Happy days. Nice. So we sort of got off track, didn't we? So you started with your trialing, and that's how it got the passion for it. And then you went green laning for your 17th. So did you know that was the way you were going to take your career to start with, or how did? Because that must have been Was that just
no? So when I went to college because I didn't know what I wanted to do. Did IT and business studies, boring. Finished that, nearly ended with it because I got so bored and discontent with it. Ended up going to work for Fujitsu Siemens as a IT engineer.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Did a couple of years of that, and then there was an advert in an old book called LRO, Anyone remember that one?
Yeah.
Just
For
about.
a company called Frogs Island 4x4. By which time I was very much more aware of other aspects of off-roading. I'd done my first couple of winch challenges and obviously knew who Devon 4x4 were, who were a massive player at the time back in, we're again back when you were probably in nappies, Alex, actually.
Yeah.
We're back right in the early 2000s here.
Which was probably the peak of it, wasn't it, really, I'd have said.
Oh, mate.
It was good days,
We
wasn't
could be here for hours talking about it, couldn't we?
So
I've got no reference at all. I have no idea.
So how did you said you'd already done a couple of winch challenges then? So how did that? Before I just don't want to. Let's go back to that so we don't miss that off.
So I was at a trial.
Yeah.
Near Wimborne, which is down near Southampton way. And a mate, again, a mate of the club, had just fitted a mile marker H12 to his front of his immaculate R-Reg 300 TDI 90, who you all know is Bob, Fred. I'm sure you knew Bob, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he mentioned that he had entered the Isle of Wight Winch Challenge.
Oh, okay.
Who was there was a guy who actually was a member of Hanson Barks who joined to do an event we had on called Lee Argyle. Don't know if anyone will remember that name. And they were running a winch challenge at a quarry on the Isle of Wight. So ended up being 4 cars that went, and the other name that was there that you'll recognise will be Nigel Barker.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
from Mega Squirt V8.
One only.
Yeah. So we went over to the Isle of Wight, knowing nothing. 300 TDI 90 with a winch, an Old Man Emu lift kit, and a set of Grizzly claws.
Cool. It's bringing up a name, isn't it?
Yeah.
From Bronco 4x4. What happened to them? I don't know what happened to them.
Oh, well, probably got taken over by Insta Turbo at some point, didn't they? We turned up at this event. We thought we were the bollocks, and we drove straight into the first big hole and stayed there all day. I'm not even joking. We went, oh, that's easy. Just drive straight across there and up that bank. And the bank ended up being bottomless.
Right.
We pulled trees out. We pulled ground anchors through the ground. We tried going backwards, ended up in worse trouble. We got ourselves out, but it took all day, and I learned a hell of a lot. And then my next winch challenge ended up being I don't know, if Tom's Farm.
Yeah, blimey,
yeah. That's Newtown, isn't it, in Wales?
Yeah.
Organised by a guy called Jim Poole, I seem to remember was his name.
Yeah.
By which time
you could pay and place like that as well, couldn't you? Or you weren't allowed to tell anyone, were you? Do you remember?
Well, it was a super secret squirrel. That was the day. You go there in the night and you could see the fire in the middle of his house from under the wall.
Yeah.
It was, honestly, Alex, this was scary. It was
crazy.
They were inbred, definitely. And by that time, Bob had fitted a pair of lockers and a roll cage.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we had a set of 35, 10, 50, 16 Cymex.
Blimey.
So obviously the first thing we did was blew a half shaft.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Cymex, again, do you remember Cymex though, Alex, or not?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Timex tyres.
Because they when they came out, I mean, that was in Winch Challenge, it was just the next thing. It was just the thing, wasn't it?
Actually, no. I might have Fedimers. I can't remember.
Okay,
Same pattern.
So,
sort of a copy, but I mean, I had my first ever. This is getting boring now, but my first ever Cymexes I bought with Jungle Trekkers, and I did 6 diffs in the month because you just couldn't. You could drive it. I mean, obviously this is before strength and shafts and stuff, really, but you could drive it quite hard with any other tyre on. But you put a Cymex on it, you could go up like a pavement and it'd just snap a back diff. It would just blow them constantly. But anyway, sorry. So so that was Tom's Farm, was the second winch challenge. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then you got the love for that then? Was that like?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'd always been into a bit of winching. Dad, from the early days of. Dad was in bed with, that's a really poor turn of phrase, but he got trained in 4-wheel drive driving by David Bowyer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Who obviously later on became Good Winch.
So
I had a great relationship with David Bowyer. Still have. I still talk to him every now and again. Very rarely these days, but and And I actually got offered a job at Goodwinch
Well, okay.
very, very early on. But obviously, the jaunt from Reading, where I was from, to what was it called? The place he lived, Zilmonacorum.
That was it. Because he had an off-road
Yeah.
site as well, didn't he?
That's it. Yeah,
That's it.
yeah. And it's still there.
Oh, okay.
Got a chap called James Trembath runs that now.
Oh, yes,
believe
of
it or
course,
not.
yeah.
Yeah,
4x4 Adventures.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry, Alex, we're going off on a tangent now.
No, it's interesting to hear. I have absolutely no idea what you're on about. So,
And unfortunately, I'd imagine a lot of your audience going, "Eh?"
Yeah, what? Yeah.
But yeah, and so after that winch challenge at Tom's Farm, we sort of came back away, and Bob Seaman, lovely bloke, had a lot of time for him, family man through and through. He was a northerner, which more of a Brummie, and I let him away with that a little bit. Phoned me up and he said, "Oh, what are you doing Sunday?" I was like, "I don't know, what's up?" He went, "Do you fancy going down to Exeter?" Yeah, all right. Why? Oh, there's a Challenge Southwest event on.
Blimey, yeah.
I was like, okay, no problem. What he'd
Mhm.
failed to tell me is that he'd gone and spent some more money. He'd fitted a pair of Optimas, a second alternator, an 8274 on the front in a Devon 4x4 bumper, and had the mile marker put in the back. So now we're the kiddie. Now we've got 2 winches, and
I'm going to sound
and we
really
went,
biff. What's
we
the
went
mile
down
marker?
there. Say again?
What's the mile marker? Is that a low line front?
It's a hydraulic low line,
yeah.
2-speed. It's essentially, and here's another boring bit of winch tech for you. It's essentially where the Saley winch started.
I was going to say, I've heard of Saleys for hydraulic
Yeah.
winches. That's like
Yeah.
everyone's
'Cause
heard of it.
I think Bob's truck, I'm sure you'll tell me when it came about, but I think he was really the first ever sort of tray back
Okay,
I
so
ever saw over here. Because it was like a
skip
square box section kind
that's
of.
it.
Yeah.
So we skip forward a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Okay, we jumped.
My 22nd birthday,
Mhm.
and this is going to be really embarrassing. In 2005,
Right. Okay.
the year before, we'd been to the Land of the World show, which was at Eastnor Castle. And a chap called Martin Lewis and his wife
Yeah.
Liz Lewis, who worked for David Bowyer, would you like to come on holiday with us? Okay, tell us more. Well, they were known for Rainforest Challenge fame. And I urge you to go and search Rainforest Challenge year 2000 or year 2002, which is when Devon 4x4 were doing really well with their Range Rover Classic bobtail.
This is really embarrassing now. I mean, I have got it on a VHS video.
I've got
Probably haven't watched it, but
I've got every DVD because I bought them in Malaysia.
Oh, okay.
I haven't watched them for a while.
No.
Yeah, so we ended up going on holiday to Malaysia in March in 2005 to KL whilst the Grand Prix was on.
Oh, okay.
There's a bunch of stories from that, and we ended up doing an overlanding trip through the course of the last RFC.
Oh, okay.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Now, you've both done a few winch challenges, right? Have you ever got the winch rope off the front of the car that you're co-driving for, walked into the trees, and been faced with a snake?
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, no, it's not for me.
To say that things moved,
Yeah.
and I was one of them. I went backwards very quickly. It was fantastic. It was utterly unbelievable.
Yeah.
Utterly unbelievable.
Was that a trip? Was that like an organised trip then, or was that something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Martin and Liz organised it with Elena and I can't remember the lead scout's name. I can't remember his name. And he had a Range Rover Classic bobtail on Volvo Portals with the God winch on it. Unbelievable piece of kit. Incidentally, one thing I learned about Malaysia is that every single Series 3 that ever got thrown out of the UK is currently in Malaysia with a Land Cruiser engine in it. They're everywhere.
Yeah, fair old. They used to like putting portals on them, didn't they, on Series 3s?
Yeah.
Quite a common thing, wasn't it, I think?
But anyway, Martin Lewis, beg your pardon, he built the first tray back in the UK.
Okay.
Which was a blue and yellow 100-inch with a G12 on the front of it from Goodwinch. and he knew Andy Chaplin. I don't know if you remember Andy Chaplin.
Yep.
He built Bob's car.
Oh, okay.
We'd done.
Because he went out and did
Midland.
the rainforest, didn't he?
Who?
Andy Chaplin did in the 90s.
Yeah, he did.
He?
Yeah, he went out in 2006 with Sean.
Brigg.
Called
No.
him Print. Sean something. I can't remember his name.
Harris.
Sean Harris.
In an SJ, wasn't it?
No, that was Peter Codd you're thinking of.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. You're wrong.
Okay. I thought he had a
my
Tiger,
bad.
or he had a Tiger printed SJ though, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Yeah. But
Peter Codd and Jackie Wan, I think their name was.
Okay.
Anyway, he built Bob's car. We'd
Right.
rolled it at a Midland Off-Road Club at Colney Green. Triple back flipped it, landed on its side, bent the cage, bent everything other than the chassis. So having come back from Malaysia, Bob didn't know whether to build a new car or rebuild that one, and Martin said, "I'll rebuild it. I'll make you a tray back. Should we put a 4.6 in it, and an auto box, and an underdrive?" And that's how repainted it red. That was a monster. That thing was unbelievable. And the first event we did in that was in 2006, which was the Ultimate Challenge by the Cobblies.
Probably that. Well, I would have been there, I think, to be fair.
Yeah.
At that.
Yeah. And by then I was completely hooked. I've been really, really, really fortunate to have co-driven. I've been to Malaysia. I've been to Morocco. Every part of the UK.
The Outback, the Outback Challenge Morocco, didn't you? That only Desert, yeah.
Desert Storm, it was called.
Only ran once,
2000.
did it? I think.
Yeah. So that was Vince, Ed, and a couple of their sort of employees wanted to do something in Morocco. The year we did it was very, very. I mean, to be fair, we treated it more as an overlanding trip in challenge trucks because, of course, then we were teamed up as Team MCS with Steve Lloyd. Who actually built the first ever twin motor 8274, but with two casings end on end.
Yep.
And one motor wired backwards, so that it spun the right way round.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a monster. But yeah, so we went out there. We came second in the end. I mean, again, I could talk for 2 or 3 hours about everything that happened on that trip. It was insane. But yeah, I mean, I've been so lucky within the off-roading community, and we're still only in the early 2000s, really. I mean, we've got 20 years to go yet before we're at current day. All I can say is I love the trialing. I've enjoyed winching. I've co-driven some marvelous people, and I will say actually, the best winch challenging that I've ever done was in the early 2010s, late 2000s. Yes, I was just getting to that, dear. My wife's in the background. I bought Malcolm Whitbread's 88-inch challenge frame.
Yep.
And we built it for Bev to drive, my wife, and I co-drove for my wife. And that was completely alien because not only had I always co-driven for other people's cars, so I didn't have to pay for anything. It was the first car. It was tiny. It had a lot of power, very maneuverable. And this person listened to me. Just drive off that cliff. It'll be fine. And off she went. No problem. We were doing the Whitbread Challenge in the middle of Wales, which ended up being on a site that Ewan Jenkins used to use. There's another name for you.
Yeah.
And Bev went, there's a smell. What's the smell? And I was like, yeah, I can smell it too. What's that steam? Looked out, and the ATF was leaking out the dipstick onto the headers. I didn't realise we were on a side slope. I was just walking around doing winch ropes, and this thing was probably at 80 degrees. It wasn't. It was just sat there.
Yeah.
Lost every gear in the gearbox, winched it to the top, filled it up, carried on.
And that, I mean, that truck, that was quite a piece of history, really, wasn't it? Because I suppose that set the way for more like an affordable buggy, really, didn't it? In the terms, when he brought that out, I don't know what year was that roughly.
What year did we buy that, Bev? Was it 2010? No, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I'd have said 2010 because in 2011 we did the Mud Monsters series that started at Slindon, turned up, and everyone was taking the mick out of Bev for being a lady driver, and we ended up winning the event.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Yeah. Do you know what that button does, love? And I'm sure Jess has had the same, Alex, obviously driving yours, and that was hilarious. It was just brilliant, especially when she beat her brother. Like, it was, unbelievable. And that was a wiki car, and it's still out there today. John Holmes has got it from Cross Channel Classics.
Course,
Yes.
So it's now got a
No drama.
5.2 left-hand drive, portals, 40s.
That's the one that he takes to the events.
That's it. Yes,
the
my car.
series. I didn't realise that was your old one. That's like the first time I've been able to like match something up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's really.
We've been talking for 40 minutes, Alex, and you finally caught on.
Well, I think we've just gotten to that point in history where we're just far enough in to me to start knowing what you're on about.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, it's.
But no, that's wow.
It's crazy how it's changed. To be fair, isn't it? Really, in a short space of time, in a way, I suppose.
Well, that was when Rob Butler from Off-Road Armory first brought out the Assassin.
Yeah.
And that event was the first time I'd seen a club spec vehicle on 37s.
Mm.
I mean, Chris Cater, another name for you, built that Range Rover Portal 4-wheel steer 7 winch thing, which was endlessly complicated, and they were fantastic to compete against. But you had that was when it was in its heyday. You had the Mudsport guys, Justin and Mark in a couple of North Off-Road Protection Performance.
Grey
100-inch vehicles. That's it.
Yeah.
Again, both of which are still about, not doing very much. You had Mark McMillan, who was competing a lot. You had the early days of Henry Papworth. Is it Giles Cook, I think was his name. Like Luke Fogarty, Chris Cater, Anthony Waterfield. You must know who that is, Alex.
Yeah.
I got another story about him. And it was brilliant. Mitzi Mogg was a thing back then. Do you remember Mitzi Mogg?
What's that?
Rob
Tunner. Oh yeah, it was. You got to do a bit of research on this, Alex.
I remember Rolling Thunder was his white one, wasn't it?
He built that was a race car, one of the Ultra 4 cars he built. Yeah, this was
before that.
6 or 7 years before that.
We went to the Scotia Extreme, which I think was one of his first events in it. I'd say that was about 2010, something like that.
Yeah, that'd be about right.
Fair old thing.
And of course, Howling Wolf was about then.
Yeah.
And he absolutely owned it, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was to be fair, like a bit like you say about your Steve Lloyd truck. It was another reincarnation of it. Nothing had really been seen like it, had it? It set the tone again for the next level in some ways. In Winch Challenge, I would have said.
And of course, then we're not far away from 2013. And 2013 was the first year I ever competed with John Lawn. We did the Whitbread Challenge together. Had an absolute ball. I managed to get Bev pregnant, and the due date decided to be on the same weekend as King of the Valleys at Walters. And of course, that was when Pierre Czerny's Jeep turned up with Spider Tracks and 40s, and Rob Butler had his little Asbo buggy, and Shannon Campbell turned up and drove Jim's Trayback. And that's when Ultra 4 really sort of started over here. Neil Watterson was that the guy? And then that's when it really changed. The sport really, really changed, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think it really moved on at a great pace. Not perhaps, I don't know, would you say money came into it as well? Or it became a lot more uh, the stuff that people were bringing to the table, you were a long way away to keep up with them in perhaps as a defender, a winch challenge defender as you knew it.
Yeah,
perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was always an aspect of drivability.
Yeah, of course.
The drive, the nut behind the wheel makes hell of a difference. But all of a sudden, LS engines became a thing, and the old American Chevy and Ford axles, the Ford 9-inch Spider tracks, and I'm going to put 37s, I'm going to put 39s, and where they've been breaking stuff before, now all of a sudden they had the RCV axles and everything else that goes with that. And I think everything that was already available in the US very quickly became available over here. And it just went and went, didn't it?
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. And it's a little bit of progress. I suppose I think it had to move with the times, didn't it? Because that's just everything moves along, doesn't it? How it happens, and that's the way it is.
But it does. One thing that I think is brilliant is that you look at the shows that we do, with John and you guys, and the huge crew of people that we've sort of gathered along the way. Do you know what the most common engine is that we have in the UK to do in off-roading?
TD5.
TD5.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
We were saying about this on the last podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as an all-rounder, it's probably the best engine going, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
For drivability. I'm sure people will shut us down, but
I was talking to a guy called Kieran Jones who does comp safaris. He's got the little red rear-engined, looks like a Defender. At a comp safari we had in Manston Airport down the other end of Kent. And he reckoned his TD5 had done 45 comp safaris. And on the limiter, absolutely wringing the neck out of whatever it could give. 45 events. I was sort of reading some posts earlier on. There was an event on it, Wadden, this weekend, just gone, and everyone's saying how much more expensive it's been just this last weekend with fuel. Chap called Michael Whiting comes on, and I think he's the guy. I think he works for Gigglepin, Michael Whiting.
Yeah.
Said I use 65 litres of diesel at Manston on a 2-day comp.
Yeah.
Well, my Discovery holds more than 65 litres of diesel.
Yeah.
It's insane. And the little TD5 2.5 litre, 10 a penny. Buy another one, throw it in, crack
Ready
on.
To go, yeah. No, very true. Very true.
My Lexus 3UZ burnt 10 litres of petrol driving to your arena at LRO and then back while running on 6 cylinders. Yeah. I hope that helps for reference.
Yeah.
What you should have you ever thought about TDI in it?
That's the gutting thing. It had a 300 in it. You could chuck 30 litres of diesel in and not use that in an entire weekend.
Yeah.
Admittedly, you couldn't get up anything unless you had like half a mile run up at it, but
so
you say,
sorry, go on, mate. Cool.
You say that, but okay, I mean, like, you're going to have to reference this through your sister.
Yeah.
If you'd have put 400 horsepower in a car straight away and said, go and drive that car, it would have been far too easy. With a 300 TDI, you've got to learn about where the power is, where to drop the clutch, how much momentum you need, which point to change gear.
For a TDI still,
there is.
I think it's
definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's like you say, it's the way to learn, isn't it? It's you can't start off with the best of the best.
Listen, mate, one thing I've learned, to finish first.
First you've got to finish.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
True.
Definitely.
So, so we've gone off topic a little bit, haven't we? So yeah, you started your career. So how did that? So you took an advert and started at Frogs, yeah?
Yeah. So that would be 2004. I went to Frogs, who were owned by All Makes, and during my time there with Eddie Prescott, that's a name that you'll deal with, I'd have thought, if you know anything about terra firma. I learned a hell of a lot. Probably one of the highlights of my career at Frogs, and Freddie and I discussed this on the phone a couple of days ago. The long way round had happened, and obviously, and Freddie was involved in prepping the support cars for long way round. Well, when it came to the long way down, they came to us at Frogs Island, and that was really a highlight. And that's where I met a chap called Dan Elias from Rex Racing, who obviously he's still around in part, I think. Again, I don't really speak to Dan, not for any other reason than life takes a different track. And then, unfortunately, I got made redundant. From there, after 4 years, I think, by which time I'd met Bev billing in a rainstorm. Don't know if you remember that, Freddie, the really, really wet billing.
Yeah, the storm of whatever year it was, yeah.
Here's a little love story for any of those who really want to understand how I met my wife. It rained a lot. 3 girls walked into our tent, one of which had a very young baby. I decided to talk to the best looking one, and I bought a house with her. How long after that was it? 8 months? Almost a year later, we bought a house in Didcot, and she moved in with me, and we're still together. She's got good taste, I think, is what we learned from that. So that was we did billing and did all of those things, and obviously in the midst of this, I'm doing all the winch challenges and other bits and pieces, going to Africa, going to Malaysia, which that sort of knowledge when you're selling roof tents and selling winches and bull bars and lockers and repairing people's cars, and you can talk from personal experience, really helps you sell stuff.
Without a doubt, yeah.
And anyway, so I got made redundant from there and ended up working with a Kent-based winch manufacturer called Gigglepin 4x4, and I was there for 2 and a bit years during the development of all sorts of winch parts and liaising with people like Gwyn Lewis and Ali Sport and so many people, and learnt loads. Met loads of people. Still speak to those people. I don't regret coming away from it.
No.
And I'll be honest, that's for a reason. I have a lot of respect for both of you for this reason. It's so cutthroat.
This industry is, 100%.
It is. It's not like in America where you go around to every big town and there's a 4-wheel parts. There's not. You don't go to every big town and there's an FDR 4x4, which I think there should be, Fred. I think that's something we should discuss.
Not yet. Yeah.
Yeah. When you want one in Maidstone, give me a shout. I know a bloke. Freddie's following a dream, and I think it's fantastic that you've got the balls to do it. You've got a family to support, you've got a lifestyle support, and you've taken a massive chance, and you're getting good success out of it because of who you are and who you know and what you know and the way you are. And you, Alex, you're running a business, a manufacturing business, alongside a day job.
Yeah.
And as we said earlier on, it only takes one person to really neg you online, and that does so much good. And so that was the end of my off-roading sort of industry career. Was it Gigglepin?
Do you think you enjoy the whole sport a bit more now though, because you're not? It's sort of a hobby as such as a lifestyle, so sort of.
Yeah, and I used to love going to events in probably a slightly underspec'd car and still being competitive. And even though I haven't co-driven for how long since I co-drove? Yeah. I haven't co-driven for so long. I still think if I turned up to an event, despite the fact that I'd be puffing out of my arse after about 3 seconds, I still think I could show people a thing or two about how you do it.
Sounds like a challenge.
I'd love to, mate. Time is
Yeah, it's so hard, isn't it? It is
Mm.
hard. Life gets in the way, doesn't it? Really, at the end of the day.
yeah. I mean, I did a couple of events, the Odyssey events with. They did a 2-day team event, didn't they? The Odyssey Club.
Mhm.
Wasn't Ragnarok, it was the other one, wasn't it? And that's where I met Duncan Smith for the first time, and a few other people that were sort of part of that area. And Digger Dave was there.
Yeah. Still
Freddie will know who Digger Dave is.
Know who that is.
So anyway, the story with Anthony Waterfield, who was obviously part of Team Farrier.
Mhm.
So Anthony Waterfield is my wife's farrier,
Oh.
Okay.
and where the horse is kept, the land is owned by another very. I don't know if you'll remember the name Paul Wibley from the early Howling Wolf days.
Yeah.
He was a past champion, so he owns the farm where the horse is, where my caravan's kept. And the other part of Team Farrier, a guy called Ryan Lawrence, keeps his truck at the same place where the horse is.
Oh, it's just all around.
So
keep it in the family.
even if I wanted to get out of off-roading, I can't get away from it.
No.
How did the connection with the shows start then? How did that?
Right. So I met John through another friend that I met through Gigglepin.
Mhm.
And we went up to John's farm. We met him at Billing, yeah, because back then he was part of Mud Machines, and they did like an assault course. And Team Gigglepin took on Team X Engineering and won. With my brother-in-law and a few of the other people that we had on the stand. And I got on with John. He was all right. Anyway, we went up there. We got invited to go to the farm. And the relationship with John came literally out of nowhere, just from nothing. And the best way for me to describe my friendship with John would be, I see him twice a year, but I know if I rang him now and said, John, I'm in trouble, I need help, he would leave now and come down here.
Mm.
He's more like a brother, if that makes sense to me, than a friend. And we speak quite a lot, and we run things past each other. And the show thing, we did the first few shows at Peterborough, when it was skips and hay bales, and it sort of moved on a little bit. And then we had Jack, and I had a few little issues that I had to deal with for a couple of years. And then we had Joshua. We went up for a day trip. I think this was going to be somewhere 2014, 2015. And it had moved on a lot. And I was like, oh, I fancy having a go at this again. And at the time, I was co-driving for another guy in a whip red, who was a local friend of Bev's. And I said, yeah, do you fancy coming to London for a show with us? We'll go up there and we'll do the arena. He was like, yeah, I fancy that. So we went up there and we joined in, just as the same as you guys do. And obviously I got back, I hadn't really spoken to John for a minute or two, and we got back in touch and really enjoyed it. And he sort of said, "I'll do us a favour, JJ, go and talk to all those people, get them ready. I don't know who they are. I don't know how to talk to them." Yeah, okay, no problem. We came back the next year and did the same again. And he said to me, "I want you to be more involved." Right, okay. Anyway, 2018, he asked me to go on the microphone with Danny Hopkins, I think his name is. Quite a prolific sort of Salon Privé classic car commentator.
Yeah.
And I learnt a lot from Danny. And the year after, Live Promotions, who were actually Bauer Media, then actually not Live, went to John, we don't want to do the arena anymore. You do it.
Oh, okay.
So John phones me up and goes, do you fancy doing the whole arena? What do you mean? And we, between 10 o'clock in the morning on the Saturday to 4 o'clock on Sunday, we decide what goes on.
Yeah, brilliant.
And that's when the what we now call the Castle Drivers Challenge was born, with Gav from Independent, Land Rover Solutions up there in Rochdale. They had the lime green Range Rover, and we come up with a few other bits and pieces, some club displays, and the Camel and G4 There's a story there, funnily enough. I'll get to that in a minute. When we moved it to Castlewood, because obviously Peterborough was great, but it got limited on what we could do.
Mm-hmm.
And then they closed it down, obviously because of development. Moved to Castlewood, not Castlewood, sorry, Beaver.
Beaver Castle, yeah.
Best move they made.
Mm.
Such a good show. The first year was a bit empty. It gave us more ability to have more people, expand into the trialling. Adam Borrell came up to me and said, "Oh, my mate Phil's got his Tornado on our live stand. Can he come and have a whip round in the afternoon?" Yeah, sweet. That started off the Comp Safari stuff.
Mm.
And as part of the run up to that show, they'd sort of given us a bit of a brief on what they wanted to do, and I was like, no problem at all. So I wrote the schedule. So the schedule you see in the program is me. I've done that. Although me and John have created it, but I've sent them the information and that. In the first one, I wrote it down as Camel Toe and G-Spot. Live Promotions didn't realise it was wrong and got to within about 30 minutes of publishing it before someone went, "No, you got to change that."
I'd have
Me
left
and
it.
John-
I think that'd have been good.
Me and John got in a bit of trouble for that, I can tell you. Yeah, and it's, even that, I'm a bit detached away from, the aspect that you guys are into, the industry and the sport, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
But I still get to do what I do with people, and my relationships with people has changed somewhat.
Yeah.
And one thing I really enjoy about the shows, again, is that I can involve the family and I get to see me mates, and I'm quite good at talking. I don't know if you've noticed.
I couldn't do it.
Because I get to promote
don't know.
people like yourselves and the sport, and
I think it's
And that's
brilliant.
what
I think it's great how it's evolved, and
Mm.
you've made it your own, haven't you? Really, which I think's nice, and everyone knows where they are with it, and it's at the end of the day, it's doing a lot for the sport, isn't it? It's probably doing the most for the sport in everyone's eyes, in any aspect for the year, really, isn't it? Especially now there's 2 shows, and
well, of course, it's not the only shows. You got billing.
oh yeah, without yeah,
and I've met a lot of people along the way. I love the fact that you guys are involved, and so many other people. Countless other people that I met, and I forget names more than I care to remember. And I really appreciate the comments there, Fred. Actually, because be surprised how many people don't tell you when you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Well, it's like everything, isn't it? It's the age-old story, and everyone wants to see you fail, don't they? Really, I would have said, not you. But
Everyone's waiting for it. Everyone's
yeah.
waiting for it.
But when you think, I was surprised when we did Castlewood last year. I had some people to do a business, and they came and watched, and they were amazed at. I think it's good to step back, because they were amazed at watching someone winch up out of a hole that we would take for granted. Who'd want to watch that? But people who aren't in the sport, they want to, don't? Do you know what I mean? It's completely different to what they've seen, isn't it? And I think that's a great way that it brings it to different audience, perhaps.
Well, that's one of the things I learned. Obviously, Jerry Thurston, I've worked with for the last 3 years, and for anyone who doesn't know, Jerry Thurston's done a fair bit of telly. Salvage Squad. If you search up Salvage Squad on Channel 4, I think you see a bit of Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
He's a bit of a geek and a nerd and that, but he's actually a very smart guy. And one of the first things he said to me was, "Cool, you do an half rabbit on, don't you?" I went, "Well, yeah, that's what I'm here for." He went, "No, just sit back and watch, because you know what's going on. You know what's happening. Other people ain't got a clue.
Mm-hmm.
So when something happens and you go, like you just said, Fred, oh, that's winching up there, that's easy. They're thinking, wow,
yeah,
like that, look how easy it went up there. Or when Tom Britton tries to do a nose stand and rolls over on his roof, or you look at Scott Varney, who was trying to do a wall of death the wrong way round on one of the log walls.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just shut up and let them watch.
Yeah.
And you're right, and that's where you can showcase the products of, yourself, Alex, with the steering bars, and countless other people who suspension, steering, brakes, tyres, winches, electrics, engines, transmissions, roll cages, just goes on and on and on.
Yeah, I mean, it has the shows are the biggest. I was saying just Freddie the other day, they're the biggest thing for us. like you say, just getting out there, meeting people, and showing them what it can do. It's just there's no other way to do it, is there? Really? Like, not really.
Well,
Not unless you've got history.
I think that's the problem.
Hmm.
The shows used to be the only place you could go to get a good deal. You look at the early days of billing, you'll know what I'm talking about here, Fred. If you wanted a deal, you took folding money.
Oh, yeah, that was your
billing.
marketplace, wasn't it? That was your internet. That was everything.
Yeah.
You know,
you used to have the Simonite auctions, the DLS stand, Land Rover gear. And again, Alex, you wouldn't have been in anything more than nappies at this time, but I keep coming back to that, actually. I'm obviously a bit jealous of the fact that you're younger than me. I have to look into that. So with the invention of the internet, the web shop, eBay, Facebook Marketplace, that's taken its toll on the industry, wouldn't you say?
Oh,
Fred?
massively. Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And it's, it's, the thing I don't like, obviously, don't get me wrong, our main bulk of our business is done through the internet, but people can still ring and talk to us, or talk to me, because that's the only one here. But do you know what I mean? And people do like that still. And if there's an issue, I'll ring them and say there's an issue rather than just an email, which I think is very common now. And I think that's why it's changed. And that again relates to the shows in the sense of, if you are into Land Rovers but want to get into another aspect of the sport, you don't. I think it, no matter what people, perhaps not with your trialing, but the other side of it could be portrayed as quite cliquey. So I think it's a good way to portray every aspect of the disciplines of sport for people to see in front of everyone. It's just there for the see. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and in fairness, the benefit of Castlewood over Beaver, and although, let's say, I'm going to be quite strong here, I'm going to say 80% of the UK 4x4 market is Land Rover driven.
Yep.
Yeah,
there's quite a lot of other stuff out there.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So you've got your Toyota, you got your Land Cruisers, your Hiluxes, you've got the double cab market. Obviously, for anybody who watches 4-wheel drive 24/7, they're all about their cruisers, their patrols, Pajeros and Shoguns and Jeeps. If you watch any of the American stuff, and that's the one thing I like about Castlewood, is that it's the ability to showcase something else without someone going, "Oh, no, that's not a Land Rover. Why is it at a Land Rover show?" Kelvin Gilman turned up in a Jeep to Castlewood, having brought his Ibex to the show before, and then he went and bought an 88-inch trailer / comper for Beaver last year. God knows what he's bringing to Castlewood in a couple of months. Probably a Polaris or something. And I love it. I often think, what would be in my dream garage? And I'll tell you one thing that would be in it that you probably won't expect me to say, and that'd be a G-Wagon.
Yeah.
What a fantastic piece of engineering that looks exactly the same as it did 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about Castlewood, and the fact we can help people and display them, and it's family orientated again. You get Mini Rovers. If anyone's not seen Mini Rovers, look them up. If you've got a sub 10-year-old that wants to go and think they could drive in a Land Rover, fantastic. And we were in there at the start.
Yeah, that is a nice thing as well, isn't it? That is a nice thing, like you say. What would be your dream garage, Alex? What would you have?
Genuinely, I think I'm more, after having done the Ultra 4, like Shannon Campbell's new buggies, them like nearly £500,000 ones. I think one of them.
Did you?
You know what I mean?
Have you seen Lauren Healy's Bronco?
I love it. I love the Ford Bronco because of Lauren Healy's cars. Yeah. Every time I've been to America and had to get a rental, I always go, I suppose you've got one of them big Broncos. You know what I mean? Just they never have. The only one they ever had once was like the small one. I was like, I'm not having that. Unless it looks like this. Unless it looks like this, I don't want it. Just give me something else. But
you've been watching. They're down at Area BFE, aren't they? Ultra 4. They've just had a race up there. Paul Wolf and Levi Shirley and Shannon Campbell and loads of names up there racing around the rocks. It's just, I love watching it.
It's just the cost of it. It's fantastic what they're doing. It is fantastic, but the money involved with their sponsors now has just taken it to a level I don't think the UK will ever be in.
No,
to be honest, there's not enough money in the UK racing market for that level.
there's not enough
Ever.
ground either.
I was going to
No.
say, I don't think we've got the space, have we? That's the problem.
No, it's just insane, isn't it?
But
yeah,
there we are.
Yeah.
Well, we've sort of rambled on there, haven't we? It's been good.
Yeah, no, it's been fantastic.
I don't think missing was a bar, really.
We can arrange that. We can arrange that for next
Listen,
time.
I don't know how you guys shut this off normally, and I know I've spoken an awful lot, but thank you both for doing this. You know, I really hope it gains some legs and gains some followers, and whether it will benefit your businesses or what it will do. But I think the fact that someone's gone, I'm going to try this. I think it's fantastic, and fair play to you.
We were just chatting. I think there's a gap for it, isn't there? I think it'll take a while, but hopefully, we wanted to cover everything, though, didn't we? All kind of everything 4-wheel drive, really. But did we? Really? Yeah. I mean,
we're excited to see where it goes, aren't we? Just, I don't know. Might happen, might not, but
give it a go.
You got to try.
You don't know until you try, do you? And, but anyway, thanks very much.
No, thanks for coming on, mate. It's been good.
Thanks for coming on. Yeah,
you're always welcome.
Yeah.
I mean, what we'd like to do, well, we were saying earlier, perhaps, we'll get you back on and talk about the shows afterwards, and, you'll have seen it from a different insight to us, and
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always happy to help and be involved and listen to my own voice.
Brilliant. Well,
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, mate. And
thank you. Thank you very much.
We'll
I'm going to see you both for Castlewood, yeah?
Castlewood, yeah, I'm there.
Need some ECU.
Second weekend of May.
ECU issues fixing first. It's
It's
all on Dan Thomas. I've got 6 cylinders working. I need some more.
Well, you'll need 2 feet to come and co-drive with someone, Alex.
Well, we are looking at coming down. So
you got to be there, mate. Even if you don't bring your car, come down and enjoy the laugh and be part
weekend,
of it.
isn't it? It is a good weekend.
Yeah, we're definitely
a completely unique show, and you're always welcome. So thanks for having me, but you got to come and play the game as well. So.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Well, thank you for spending some time with us, and I think that's the end of episode 4 in the bag. So
very much.
Until the next one.
Stay tuned for the next one.
Thank you.
Cheers, then. Take it easy. See you later.